Hello. Today I'm going to talk to you about comparative forms. This is a PowerPoint I prepared last year, but I didn't prepare a capsule for, so away we go. First of all, we use three different forms of comparative. So we use equative for talking about items of equality, comparative when we're comparing two items, and superlative when it is more than two items. So as I said, equative is two things, so as, happy as, and we'll look at some more concrete examples here in a moment. As old as, you see, and as challenging as. We don't have to transform the adjective or adverb at all. Comparative, I could say older than, happier than. The than is not always necessary, of course, or more challenging than. We'll look at how to form those in a moment. And superlative is the structure with the and est. So the oldest, the happiest, the most challenging. So with equative, I could use as plus an adjective or an adverb and the word as. He is as tall as I am. He worked as carefully as I did. In this case, carefully, of course, is an adverb. I can also, in equative structures, use the expression the same as. So I could just say it's the same as mine, or I could say he has the same car as I do. For comparatives, and this works for adjectives and adverbs, this is probably most with an adjective, if you have one syllable, then you add er and possibly the word than. He is taller than I am. If you have an adjective that has two syllables and it ends in the letters er or the letter y or the letters le, then you add er and than. My dog is prettier than my aunt. In this case, pretty ends with the letter y, and I change the y to I and add er. If your adjective or adverb has three or more syllables, then we use the words more or less than. So my pet pig is more interesting than my dog. I cannot say interesting-er. It's too long. So I say more interesting, or of course less interesting. And other two-syllable adjectives that do not end in, what did I say, le, I can't remember the ones on the other page there. I use more or less than. She was more tired than today. I certainly am more tired today than yesterday. I think you can hear it in my voice. For superlative, we are comparing three or more items. So if your adjective is one syllable, we use the plus est. He is the tallest student in the class. If your adjective ends in er, y, or le, like we saw a few moments ago with comparatives, we use the plus est. It was the simplest exercise that we have ever done. So the word simple, I just add st, simplest. For adjectives or adverbs of three or more syllables, I use the most or the least plus my adjective or adverb. Being fired from my job was one of the least exciting moments of my life. I cannot say exciting est. It doesn't work. And other two-syllable adjectives, I use the most or the least plus the adjective. It was the most awful moment. I cannot say it was the awfulest moment of my life. There are lots of irregular forms, but these are, well, in fact, there aren't that many, but these are the most common ones. Good is the comparative form of good, rather, is better than or the best. Bad is worse. It is worse than I thought, and it was the worst. As little becomes less than or the least. Many and much. They both, for the comparative form, they take the structure of more than or the most in the superlative form. Far becomes farther or further, and the farthest and furthest. We can also look at parallel constructions. That's when we use two comparative forms to show that something is changing continuously. So we could say the course is getting harder and harder. So I repeat the same adjective, the same comparative form. The course is getting more and more difficult. I just wanted to give you, even though the sentences mean the same thing, I just wanted to show you because difficult has 3 syllables, so I would say more and more difficult. Finally, one more construction we want to look at, this other parallel construction, is the comparative plus the comparative. So we use this with a variety of sentences. And I have to say this one is tricky. It's hard for me in French, so if you can tell me the rules, that would make me happy. But we would say the bigger, the better. So this is a comparative, and this is also a comparative. The sooner we start, the sooner we finish. So you see, I can use the same comparative structure, but I don't have to. The harder you work, the more progress you will make. This is where it gets a little bit challenging to form your sentence correctly. So the harder you work, the more progress you will make. And the more my cats meow at night, the less I sleep, which seems maybe to be why I'm so tired today. So thank you for listening. I hope that this review will remind you of some of the tricks for making comparatives and superlatives, and you will see that the more you practice, the better you will become. There is a practice activity here that you can do, and I also have some that I will be giving you in class. So thank you very much and have a great day.